The 4 reasons why you're poor. Sounds like a catchy title, does it not? If we ask ourselves the question, why are some people rich and why are some people poor, we'll come up with many possible reasons as to why one individual will be richer than another. And yes, of course, some people get a better financial start in life compared to others. But did you know that according to Forbes 2021 billionaire list, approximately 2/3 of billionaires are self-made, meaning they didn't inherit their wealth. However, it's worth noting that the concept of being self-made is quite subjective, as many individuals have had the support of their family, of mentors, or they have had access to other resources that influenced, that contributed to it. But at the same time, the massive financial success of billionaires and millionaires of this world can't simply be reduced down to luck. In fact, the book titled The Unfair Advantage explains how every single one of us has one unfair advantage at the very least compared to other people. For instance, someone is going to be born in a first world country. That can be considered an unfair advantage compared to someone who was born in a third world country. Another unfair advantage could be that one individual is born with a higher IQ than another, or that someone has a natural talent in the arts while someone else doesn't. Either way, you too watching this video right now have an unfair advantage. It's literally impossible that absolutely everything is dragging you down. Even the people that went through the worst of the worst have one unfair advantage. And if you're wondering what their unfair advantage could be, for instance, it could be the incredible ability to withstand, to go through pain, and to persevere no matter what. The truth is, there is both an aspect of determinism and also of free will in each individual's life. So what do I mean by that? Free will is the idea that individuals are in control of their destiny and make conscious decisions that affect their behavior, while determinism is the opposite idea, the belief that one's behavior is determined by forces beyond their control. But the truth is that the country you were born into, the body you were born into, the family that raised you, you didn't specifically choose those things when you arrived here on Earth. The best way to get my point across is to compare life to a game of poker. You were dealt a hand, and some people are going to start off worse, or on the contrary, better off than others. And while it's important, and while it does play its part, what matters most is how you're going to use the cards that you were dealt. You can be given everything and lose everything. You can be given absolutely nothing and gain everything. What matters isn't what you have at first, it's what you maintain, it's what you keep. This is where your own free will, your capacity to make decisions come into place and changes everything. You're not a tree. If you don't like where you are, you can change, you can move, no matter how painful the process of changing might be, depending on your current situation, on your current circumstances. So in this video, I'll be sharing with you the 4 reasons why you are still poor from a financial point of view. And these 4 reasons are all going to be based on choices, on things that result out of your free will, therefore things that you can change and get better at. The first reason why you are poor is because you do not understand or you do not apply the concept of leverage. The best way I can explain this is with a simple example. Let's say that person A, we'll call him Mike for the sake of simplicity. Mike is working at a popular fast food restaurant and makes $8 per hour. He works 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. That's a total of 40 hours per week. 40 hours a week, 4 weeks per month. That's 160 hours per month. 160 hours times $8 for his hourly wage equals $1,280 per month. Now let me ask you, what are the different strategies that Mike could use in order to increase his income and make more money? Some are going to say that Mike could A, work more hours. For the sake of the example, if he worked 8 hours a day, 7 days a week, that would be a total of 224 hours of work per month. So he would be making $1,782 per month. B, Mike could get a promotion and become a manager. So now he would be making around $12 an hour, an increase from the previous $8. If he works 40 hours a week, that brings his income up to $1,920 compared to $1,280 when Mike was just a regular fast food employee without any management title or responsibilities. But I think you'll agree with me that Mike cannot possibly work 7 days a week, all of the time, 24/7. What kind of life would that even be? So if Mike wants to keep increasing his income, he can't work all of the time. And if he keeps working at a fast food joint, he will inevitably hit a ceiling in the amount of money he can generate each and every single month for himself. Now let's take a quick look at person B. We'll call this one Sandy. Sandy used to work at the same fast food joint that Mike did. In fact, they used to be colleagues. However, Sandy understood the concept of leverage while Mike didn't. Both Sandy and Mike had the same goal: to generate as much money as possible. The strategy that Mike adopted was to become a manager and to get a promotion, so that he would be given more responsibilities by the company and as a result get paid more. Sandy, however, decided to take a completely different path. Sandy decided to start her own business on the side. She decided to start her very own social media marketing agency after having seen lots of videos on the subject on YouTube. At first, Sandy was manually reaching out to potential clients to offer her Google and Facebook ad lead generation services to e-commerce brands. She would take on meetings with the e-commerce brand business owners in the late afternoon when she would be done with her job at the fast food joint. After a month of perseverance, lots of messages sent, and a few dozen sales calls, she managed to sign her very first client, who agreed to pay her a recurring fee of $2,500 per month. Sandy was absolutely thrilled when she saw the money for the first time in her bank account. For the first time ever, she realized that it's possible to make a lot of money from an online business and to make even more than she would with a normal job. So what she did is that she worked on her client's project on the weekend or after work when she had some extra free time. And then Sandy started to reach out to more and more people and to get other clients. She asked her satisfied clients for video testimonials, which they happily gave to her anyway because they were very satisfied with the quality of her services. Sandy then started to hire freelancers and remote contractors to delegate the work that she would otherwise have to do herself for her clients. But just like Mike, Sandy cannot be working 7 days a week, 12 hours a day. I mean, what kind of life would that be? She started a business in order to become free. She hired a couple sales reps, commission-based, to handle the meetings for her. And now what she does is that she manages the overall structure, the agency. Her income is therefore growing exponentially without requiring her to work more hours in a given month. This comprehensive story illustrates the importance of having leverage. You can work very hard, but as long as you are working in an opportunity that does not give you a lot of leverage to play with, your income will keep hitting the same invisible wall. Most online businesses utilize the concept of leverage to make the business owners wealthy. A dropshipping store can sell hundreds, thousands, and even millions of units per day without necessarily requiring more hours of work from the founder. Or if you sell online courses or ebooks, anyone, anywhere in the world can buy your products anytime they want. And when your course or your ebook is created once, it can be sold an infinite amount of times without requiring more work, more effort, or more hours from your part. This gives you a huge amount of leverage. People that are managing to become extremely wealthy understand the concept of leverage very well, and they use it to their advantage. Another reason why you're poor is because you are constantly self-sabotaging your progress. There is no greater enemy than ourselves. We can either choose to be our own best friend or our own worst enemy. Sadly, because of the negativity bias and other cognitive biases that are similar to that one, we often fall into the second category. 98% of the time, there is no one judging us harder than ourselves. If your goal is to become wealthy, but you find yourself self-sabotaging your own progress, this could manifest in the following ways: compulsively spending money on things that you don't really want or that you don't even need, procrastinating working on your business, underpricing your services. I read this book a little while ago called Psycho-Cybernetics. It was written by a plastic surgeon named Maxwell Maltz, who explained that some of his patients radically changed their self-image after they received a surgical treatment. And if I remember correctly, I think that there was the story of a man who absolutely hated his nose. He felt repulsed by it, and he even went as far as to isolating himself socially and believing that no one would like him because of it. He was absolutely convinced that people were disgusted by him. He then went on to have a surgery, and everything changed for him because his self-image, meaning the way that he perceived himself, what he believed to be true about himself, completely transformed. However, this did not work 100% of the time. Patients, after undergoing plastic surgery, still kept the same exact self-image that they had before. That's when Maxwell Maltz realized the importance of the concept of the self-image, the way we perceive ourselves, who we think that we are. The self-verification theory suggests that individuals have a need to confirm their existing beliefs and self-concepts, even if those are negative or self-defeating. For example, if you believe that you fail at everything, it's a very bad belief to have, but because this is what you believe, you are going to automatically, at least your brain is going to find ways to make that true. So in everything that you do, you will find exactly how you're failing at this, even if it's not a failure. But because you believe that you are a failure, that therefore everything that you do is going to fail, you will create that own reality for yourself. This can sound crazy, but it's absolutely true. What we believe to be true, we tend to turn that into an actual reality. As a result, individuals may engage in self-sabotaging behaviors that confirm their negative self-beliefs and expectations, even if it leads to negative outcomes. For instance, if someone truly believes that they're just a fat guy trying to lose weight, they're likely to fail to sustainably lose weight because they associate with the identity of just being a fat guy, and they've probably been associating themselves with this identity for years on end. So changing that identity into that of a fit guy is going to take some hard work, perseverance, and it's not going to happen overnight. So if you have the belief in yourself that you are meant to be financially poor, or that you are not worthy of succeeding in business, or if you believe that you have to do bad things, or that you have to compromise your ethics and what you believe to be right in order to be successful, then chances are you will keep hitting the same income ceiling until you manage to change your self-image. In psycho-cybernetics, there was also the story of a man who saw himself as a $50,000 a year salesman. The company he worked for thought that he was in fact a really good salesman, so they decided to move him into a bigger city with a bigger customer pool so that it could generate more sales for the company. To everyone's surprise, the salesman made the same exact amount of money, $50,000. It turns out that the reason why the salesman never exceeded the $50,000 per year mark, no matter his external circumstances, was because he had a deep belief in his mind that he simply was a $50,000 a year salesman. Only when he did change his self-image and started to see himself as worthy of a higher income did his income grow in proportion to what he believed to be true about himself. Another reason why you're poor might be because of overconsumption. In other words, your current money management skills are not matching the money management skills that you would need to have in order to become wealthy. Overconsumption can manifest in many of the following ways: buying lots of stuff you don't need, making compulsive purchases, spending more than you intend to, failing to keep a budget, having a lot of debt, buying things that you barely use or that you don't even need. Here are some common reasons behind compulsive shopping habits. Emotional factors. Many people with compulsive shopping habits use shopping as a way to cope with negative emotions such as anxiety, depression, loneliness, or boredom. Shopping can provide a temporary escape from those emotions, and the pleasure, the quick rush of dopamine when you make a purchase can provide a temporary sense of relief and of comfort. Low self-esteem. People with low self-esteem may use shopping as a way to boost their self-worth. By acquiring new possessions, they may feel more valuable or more important and may believe that others will respect them more. Social factors. Social pressure to conform to certain norms or standards can also contribute to compulsive shopping. For example, in some cultures, there is an expectation that people must dress a certain way or own certain types of goods, like specific car brands, expensive watches, and this can lead to excessive spending. Advertising and marketing can create a sense of urgency and desire for certain products and can make people feel like they need to own those products in order to feel successful or to be liked by other people or to even be desirable to other potential mates. For instance, when they sell you a perfume, when they sell you clothes, it's usually all to be more attractive to the opposite sex. Addictive personality. Some people may have a predisposition towards addictive behaviors and may find it difficult to control their impulses when it comes to shopping. There are many different strategies that you can use in order to stop over-consuming and overspending. However, there is one single thing that will apply no matter what strategy you decide to implement to quit this behavior, and that is your why. In order to make long-lasting changes in your life, you need to have a strong, compelling reason as to why you're doing it. The quote, "Change only happens when the pain of staying where you are is greater than the pain of change," is very accurate, and I have witnessed it myself. So ask yourself, why do you want to stop over-consuming? How are you going to benefit positively from getting rid of this kind of behavior? And another powerful thing to do as well is to use direct motivation or reverse motivation in order to find an even more powerful reason to stop. Positive motivation would be listing out the benefits that you will gain from quitting a bad habit, explaining how it's going to improve your life overall. But direct motivation or reverse motivation, it's the complete opposite. It's about listing all of the terrible things that are in fact going to happen if you keep doing the bad habit. This applies to any sort of negative behavior, not just to overconsumption or overspending. The fourth reason why you are poor is because you suffer from shiny object syndrome. Shiny object syndrome refers to the tendency to be easily distracted by new, exciting opportunities or ideas and to keep jumping from one project, one initiative to another without fully following through on any of them. This can be especially prevalent in entrepreneurs and business owners that are constantly seeking new ways to grow their business and to stay ahead of the competition. An example of shiny object syndrome can be someone who wants to start an online business but who keeps trying out a bunch of different things and never actually sticking to one business model, to one strategy. So for instance, someone could be starting a dropshipping store, but then 2 months later they start a social media marketing agency. Then a couple weeks later they start a YouTube channel, they basically never stick to anything. And if you have a lack of focus and a lack of purpose and direction, you will not reach your goal. To reach your goal, you need to focus all of your efforts into reaching that specific goal. The more you spread your energy into 10,000 different directions, the slower it's going to be to reach the goal. To avoid a shiny object syndrome, you have to be really clear on what it is that you want, and you have to stay focused on your core objectives. You have to carefully evaluate projects and ideas before you get started. Ask yourself, is this thing going to help me to reach my goal? Maybe you're thinking about starting a business, but for instance, you don't want to be famous. So why would you start a YouTube channel? Because knowing that with a YouTube channel, you have the potential to get famous. A business that could be better for you would be a social media marketing agency, or dropshipping, or e-commerce with Amazon, or you could have a YouTube channel, but a faceless YouTube channel. This means that you have to take the time to do research, to set clear goals and metrics for success, and being willing to stick to a strategy long enough in order to see the desired results. If you lack consistency, no matter what you're trying to accomplish, you will fail. Anyone can sign up for a gym membership and start meal prepping healthy food, but what separates the people who manage to get in great shape compared to the rest is consistency. Following a plan over and over. It's a change in lifestyle that matters. Consistency is essential for achieving success and maintaining that success and growing that success. Inconsistency, on the other hand, leads to failure and to a wide range of negative consequences, such as a lack of progress, missed opportunities, regrets, and even increased stress and anxiety. If you have a strategy to build more wealth, whether it be investing in real estate or building your own online-based business, you need to commit to it for long enough to see results. If you get 1% better every day for a year, you will be approximately 37.8 times better by the end of the year. Aim for long-term consistency, avoid short-term intensity. Let me know in the comments down below, what's the one thing you learned in this video that you are going to apply from now on in your life? And with that said, I will see you in the next one.